So you go to a resort and you're out by the beach. Now, there is this huge mountain rock cliff formation that people are jumping off of into the water. So you watch as two friends go up to the top and they stand at the edge. Suddenly, both of them take a huge leap into the water. Now, the one friend dunks down, rises back up, gets on their back, and begins to backstroke to the shore. Meanwhile, the other friend took a dip, came back up, went back down, came back up, went back down, started panicking, flailing, arms are going everywhere. This person was drowning. Now, you're looking and you notice they jumped off the same cliff into the same water. They were about the same size. So how come one person swam and floated up and the other person sank and started drowning? Well, I'm going to be breaking this down today and how it may pertain to your life. So let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Okay, so we are going to be jumping into this. It's actually interesting because I was relaxing the other day and I got this vision very, very vividly. Like it was like literally like almost a movie right before my eyes. And so I've been kind of pressed to give this message to you guys. Now, I want to start this off by saying this. When I'm going through these messages, you might relate to being the swimmer at one point, and then you might relate to being the one who was sinking, the one who was drowning and had to be rescued, okay? So don't feel bad for being on either side of the spectrum. This is all about progression. How do you move forward? If you are the sinker, why? What can you do about it? And if you are the swimmer, then what is it you need to keep doing? What is it that's working for you? And even if you identify with a few of those sinker parts, you might find some information in here that's going to help you, float, help you swim, help you get to shore, okay? So we're going to be starting here. On the U of the tube, we're going to do the blue. Now, these are mainly about the people who feel like they are the ones who float, okay? We're going to be talking about what's working for you, and we're even going to touch on the opposite of why some people may sink as compared to the one who is floating, and then we're taking it over to Patreon. Now, this is specifically about those who feel like, man, I'm doing something, it never seems to work out for me, or, you try something and then it doesn't work out, and then you try again and then it doesn't work out, and you try again, and then finally it's just you have to be rescued out of situations, okay? So this is talking about those particular type of energies that you may be feeling and solutions, like what can you do? What steps can you take to stop the drowning, okay? Now let's go ahead and let us get on to the messages. As you guys can see, there are three different types of waves on the screen. I want you to choose the wave that you feel most drawn to. And like I always tell y'all, listen to all of them, just the one you choose, maybe a little bit more highlighted in your life at this time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to these messages. All right, if you chose number one, we are talking about you in terms of why is it that you float? Why is it that you jump down into these deep waters, but somehow you were magically okay? Well, the first thing that I got for this was the same thing that can carry you is the same thing that you can drown in, right? So with you, you learn how to use the elements, or you learn how to use what is around you to support you and to carry you, as opposed to you just falling down and drowning in it, okay? So in terms of people, in terms of coworker, in terms of life, this is how I receive this, okay? How do you use things to your advantage? How do you use the elements or use your environment to your advantage? Well, it has a lot to do with what you, like the energy you give off, right? So I got, you'd rather be kind than be mean. That helps you to float in life. Kindness, right? You'd rather love than hate, because love is lighter, right? It makes you float, right? Hate is heavy. It's a more dense energy. It brings you down, right? You rather clap for people than to be jealous of people, okay? And you rather be at peace rather than be in turmoil, right? You rather look at the lighter side of life, right? You ever seen people that just go floating through life? Well, it's because, well, this may not have happened for me, or that may not have done what I needed it to do, or I may not have got to where, I thought I would be at this time, but I'm still grateful, practicing gratitude, all of that kind of stuff, looking on the brighter side of things. This is what floaters do. In terms of life, you have to think like a floater. Again, kindness, that's a light energy. That's a floater's energy. Peace, that's a floater's energy. Also, some of you guys may be going through a process where you need peace, or you need kindness. So float even in the midst of other people, I guess, feeling whatever way they're going to be feeling. So maybe you guys may want to take some time, and if you feel like you're a sinking person, or you have some sinking parts of your life, you might want to look around you and see if someone is having a sinking pull on your energy. Okay, floaters, again, you're high vibrational, you're looking on the lighter side of life, you're choosing peace rather than chaos, you are choosing gratitude rather than complaining, and this is the reason why you are able to float. Other people may be looking, again, you may be one of those people where people be like, they just float through life, and like anything they touch, it's just perfect, it just always go their way. Well, that's not by accident, it's by mental design. Okay, so that's what I get for number one. Let us go ahead and get to number two. All right, so if you chose number two, the reason why you float, okay, or the reason why you see other people float, it is because they have the ability to relax, aka trust. Have you ever met a person where everything is falling apart, everything going crazy, and they just be like, hey, it'll be all right. It's gonna be cool. Things will work themselves out. And they just relax. They just go on about their day as if the whole world didn't fall apart right before their eyes. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's because as a floater, they have the ability to trust. Listen, I may have taken a dip down in this water, but something that is beyond my control, right? I can't control the water. I can become one with the water. I can go with the flow of the water. But at some point, when I go under, I have to trust that this water has the ability to help me rise. That takes faith, right? And y'all know on this channel, I'm always talking about faith, because literally that is sometimes all you have. And with faith, it is the ability to relax, because you know something or someone beyond your control, beyond your ability, has to do something on your behalf. Now, some of us are control freaks. Some of y'all bosses, y'all run corporations, some of y'all have a whole household of people that you run and you manage, and you want to be in control. You just used to being in control of everything. But a floater knows at some point, I got to give that control either over to God, give that control over to, like, again, in our scenario, to the water. I have to give something over in order to receive my rise, to receive the fact that I went under, but I'm going back on top of the water, right? I'm going to resurface. It takes a certain trust to jump down in that water, knowing for a fact I'm going to jump down in the water, and I'm not going to stay at the top when I jump down. I'm going to jump and go under. But there's a trust. There is this faith that says, even though I voluntarily signed up to go under, I trust that I will rise above. And I trust that I don't have to do it all by myself. You see what I mean? So, in order to float, you have to be in trust. You have to be in a state of calm. You have to know that with this water, you are being carried, right? So the water supports you, right? You have to believe or have faith that I am supported, right? The water holds you up. You have to trust that the water can do that, right? Because if the person's drowning, they flailing and they doing all kinds of stuff with their arms and their legs, and it's making them go back under. But if you can trust this thing beyond your control, it's all the water said is trust me, relax. So if you chose number 2, you are a floater or you are a sinker and you're getting this information. The way to float is to stop, relax, and trust. I'm going to take a moment to understand that I don't control the water, right? I don't control the earth. I don't control what other people do at any given moment. But I am in control of myself. And being in control of myself means that I have the power to relax. I have the power to have faith. Nobody can have faith on my behalf. When you out there in the water, it's you and the water. So you either going to trust the water or you're going to fight against the water. Okay? And what does this mean in real life? You either going to trust God, you either going to trust that these visions or these dreams or whatever it was that you were shown, whatever it was that you were given, I'm going to trust that this is what's for me. Or if you're going through a circumstance, like if you're feeling bad, if you're feeling like, oh no, this is happening, that's happening, your ability to trust and have faith is what's going to allow you to float. Okay, so that's what I get for number 2. Let's move on to the last one. All right, so for my people who chose number 3, the reason you are a floater or if you are a sinker, this is what you need. This is what you need to know. Technique, okay? Technique means, number 1, you were prepared, right? When this person who went in there and they floated to the shore, they were prepared. They already knew, number 1, I'm trusting the water. Number 2, I got the ability to swim, use my natural instincts, or use my body in conjunction with using the water, right? So there's timing involved. That means when you are in life and you're doing your thing, whatever you're doing, you got good timing, okay? You got a good pace set. You got rhythm. You got your head motions. When you out there swimming, when you turn your head, that's when you get your pockets of breath. That's how they breathe. Those Olympic swimmers, they go on those laps back and forth. You see their head go under, but you also see their head come up and go to the side and breathe. They know when to breathe, how to breathe, and keep moving at the same time, right? They know when to hold their breath and again, when to turn their head to the side. You got arm strokes, you got kicks, you know how to do it. You know how to make your body move in conjunction to the water, and this is what's pushing you ahead. A lot of times when those arms go in and back and they push that water back, it's giving them momentum to move forward. Or even with the backstroke, the same thing. You're pushing the water to help you move forward. You know how to work with what's around you, right? In other words, you are in control of yourself. Now, all of the parts come together to move you forward. There's also structure behind what you do, okay? Think about the person who is drowning. Their arms are going everywhere. There's no timing. There's no rhythm. There's no preparation. There's panic. There's chaos. But with this person, there was structure. Something was already ingrained in them. Again, it doesn't have to mean this person was an Olympic swimmer. You're not an Olympic swimmer. You just have instinct, right? You may have tried these things before. You didn't jump in with 2 feet and didn't know what you were doing. A lot of the reason why people swim is because they are prepared. It is because maybe they've done it before, time and time again, okay? A person who is able to float, again, is in control of their own body. They recognize the timing and the rhythm of life. A lot of people float because they recognize when, I'm getting this now, I'm saying like when the tide is high and when the tide is low. Again, knowing when to breathe and when not to breathe. With that clip, knowing when to jump, when it's safe, knowing that I can do it, having that confidence, that is what will help a person float, okay? Being prepared, having a technique, okay? Again, having structure behind what you do gives you confidence. When you have confidence, you'll have more ability to complete the task that you were trying to complete, okay? So again, this technique that you have is preparing you for a long-term vision. See, you learned timing and rhythm and arm strokes because you knew that you would need this technique in the future. In this case, well, I'm going to a new country. I'm going to be jumping off cliffs. I better know how to swim, okay? So you were prepared. But this is the thing. I used to be friends with somebody who would always say, because the Bible says, think about the day and let tomorrow worry about itself. And my argument back would always be, well, it also says leave an inheritance for your children. That means long-term planning, right? That means I have a vision for the future. Yeah, I may be standing on this cliff right now, but I know I'm going to have to jump. I know I'm going under. I know I have to rise. And that requires technique. That requires planning. That requires preparation. That requires me thinking farther than this moment right now, okay? When the person who was drowning and sinking jumped off the cliff, they wasn't thinking about the future. Well, what if I get down in that water and I can't swim? Well, but I forgot I can't swim? What if I get down into this water and I'm not prepared because I don't know my technique, the timing, the rhythm? I don't know how to use the water to my advantage. I don't know how to float, okay? I don't know when to turn my head to breathe. I didn't even know I could breathe. Is that a thing? You know? So it's the non-preparedness for those of you all who feel like you're sinking. For those who feel like you're sinking, you probably jump into things with both feet and don't do the research, right? Learning even just a little bit before you do something would make a huge difference, okay? And so, again, it's something about technique and your structure, the structure behind what you do and how you do it, and then looking at the long-term effect that it's going to have. And how do I break this in conjunction with our scenario? Again, I'm not just jumping off this cliff. I already know, I'm already prepared for what's going to happen. I'm prepared because I know I'm going under. I'm prepared because I know I got to trust the water to help me rise. So I'm looking further than just this moment. Okay, that's the whole key element with technique. You being prepared, you having a long-term vision is going to give you the confidence to move in that direction. And it's going to help you to know what you need to do with the things outside of yourself to help propel you or push you forward into the direction you're trying to go, okay? So that's what I get. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys, so I hope I was able to touch on some things that help give you some insight into why you are floating, or if you are someone who feels like you're sinking, you need to kind of understand why you're looking for answers. Well, hopefully I was able to give you even just one golden nugget of information to help bring your mindset to that of a floater. You did, but it doesn't stop there. We are going over to Patreon. Click the link in the description box, head on over to Patreon, and we will continue on there. But if this is where it ends for you, I appreciate you for watching. I'd love to have you as one of my subscribers, so hit that subscribe button, like this video if you liked it, and I'll see y'all in the next one.